I think the most important attribute to think about in terms of civil liberties is that they are radically different in numerous ways from just about every single other political issue. What is it about civil liberties that makes them so fundamentally different than debates, say, over the budget or tax policy or even going to war or bureaucratic infighting or energy policy or any of the other political issues in which you may have an interest and think are important? What is it about civil liberties that, in my view, makes them so radically different? So the first attribute of civil liberties that I think makes them radically different is that they are absolute and unyielding. If you look at how most political issues are resolved, they're resolved through compromise, through extreme measures of compromise. So typically what happens in a political debate is various factions take opposing sides in pursuit of their own self-interest. And then you have various ideological extremists across the spectrum who take various positions based upon their ideology and their political self-interest. And you have this major clash of all kinds of factions motivated by all sorts of different incentives trying to fight over the ultimate outcome. And then typically what happens is at the end of the day, you have some self-anointed centrists, people who think that they're above all of these disputes, and they sort of lock themselves in a room, 3 or 4 senators who are very fond of hailing themselves as serious centrists, and they just sort of randomly and arbitrarily pick something in the middle, and that ends up being the outcome. That's how policy is made. That is not the case for civil liberties at all. Civil liberties are not susceptible to compromise. As I said before, they're absolute and unyielding. And the reason that I say that is because if you just look at the Bill of Rights, you'll find that the language used to express these protections uses the language of absolutism. So you just look at the amendments. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or freedom of press, and the right of the people to be secure in their papers and property and homes against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue except upon a finding of probable cause, and no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. These are absolute in their expression. They don't admit the kinds of compromises or exceptions that virtually every other political issue entails.